system is trending downward as we head into 2024. Recent Gallup poll showing 49% of Americans identify as independents, while just 25% call them Democrats or Republicans. Now, a nonpartisan group called No Labels wants to capitalize on the trend by seeking out a presidential candidate for a third-party unity ticket. And Ryan Clancy is the chief strategist for No Labels. He joins me now. Ryan, great to have you. Why do you think right now the time is ripe for a third-party candidate?
Well, it's not really what I think, it's what the public thinks, and it's just hard to avoid the conclusion that they do not like what the parties are selling them. You've seen all the polls I've seen. 2/3 of people don't want a rematch of the 2020 election. More than almost half the country is self-identified independent, so they are ripe for some new choices.
It's a big story in my state, Connecticut, because former Senator Joe Lieberman from Connecticut is the founding co-chair of your group. He says 3 moderates, Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, Republican Senator Susan Collins, and former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan could be considered for your unity ticket. But regardless of who the candidate may be, what are you looking for in that candidate?
I mean, look, if you looked at the characteristics that the public was looking for when we polled 26,000 people in December, it was strong, honest, effective. So clearly they see something missing in the current and former occupant of the White House. They don't have those characteristics. And the other thing that they want is they want somebody who's actually going to apply common sense to the big challenges we have: immigration, healthcare, so much else. I mean, the public is clearly smarter than Washington on this. They get that we tend not to be able to solve our biggest problems unless we actually do it together.
In light of these numbers, do you really think that your potential candidate has a legit shot of taking the White House?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know the reasons historically why independent tickets never pick up traction. We're traditionally a two-party system, and No Labels isn't trying to blow it up. But this year, we really think is different. We think this is a unique American moment where there is an opening here. We're still almost a year away from deciding if we ever run a ticket. And if we don't think there's an opening early next year, then we won't force it. We don't want no part of being a spoiler. This is only something you do if you think you can win.
I'm glad you mentioned the word spoiler. You're receiving a lot of criticism from the left that your candidate, whoever he or she may be, if they end up being in the race, will draw votes away from Biden and give the race to presumably Trump because he's in the lead right now. How do you respond to that?
I mean, there's 2 answers. First of all, the last time an independent arguably ran towards the middle was Ross Perot 30 years ago. And we went back and looked at that election, and he drew almost evenly from both sides. But more fundamentally, we're sitting here almost a year from the election. There's no ticket. There's no platform. We have no idea where the country's going to be. So anybody who says they know exactly how an independent would impact the race or who it would favor, they're just speculating.
Ryan Clancy, I find your party, potential party, I should say, fascinating. I think all eyes need to be on it as we head into 2024. You're going to make waves. People need to pay attention. Ryan Clancy, thank you. Remember